What's up, you guys? This is Matt McCoy. I'm an Ableton Live certified trainer and the founder of loopcommunity.com. And today I'm going to show you my Ableton Live worship template. This is what I use when I run tracks in Ableton Live for worship. And this is available to you in our shop for 10 bucks, and it works with every version of Ableton Live, whether you've got intro, standard, or suite. And it's really easy to use. I'm going to show you how to set it up now. So when you first pull up the template, this is what it looks like. On the left-hand side, you've got click-only songs. I'm going to explain to you in a minute why that's there. Cues, this is where I'm going to put all my cue files. Loops is where I'm going to put my loop files. And multi-tracks is a group where I'm going to put all my multi-tracks. So let's go ahead and actually build a set real quick, and I can show you how this works. So what we're going to do is I'm going to open up my live file browser, and let's go ahead and bring in, let's just say my first song is a song Forever Rain, and let's just say I don't have multi-tracks for it. It's just a split file. Well, then all I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and rename this song 1 here to Forever Rain, and the tempo, which is 83 BPM, and then the time signature, which is 4/4. And I'm going to drag the cue file right here, where it says put cue file, and then I'm going to put the stereo file right here. So now when I press play on this scene, it's going to play my cue file, and then in this track it's going to play my stereo loop file. Really easy. Now let's just say my next song, I actually have a multi-track. So let's go to my multi-tracks, all right? And let's just say we're going to be using Real Love. I'm going to drag the cue file right here where it says put cue file here on my cue track. And then I'm going to bring in my multi-tracks and put them all over here. So I could bring them in one at a time. You know, if I want to be really organized here, I could put the drums here and the bass here if I have bass in this track, which I don't. But for this demo, we're just going to bring them all in just to save time. So I'm going to hold Command, click, drag, hold Command to drop them in horizontally, and it'll create a bunch of tracks for me. Now when I go ahead and change, I'm going to right-click and rename this to Real Love. The tempo is 140 BPM at 4/4. Let's go ahead and press play on that.
Intro 2, 3, 4.
And now all my multi-tracks are playing for Real Love. Now let's just pretend that my next song, song 3, I don't have any tracks for it, but I still want to play to a click. Well, that is why we have a column over here for click-only songs. This is because I like using the Ableton Live metronome, the built-in Ableton Live metronome. And the only way to get that to actually play is if you have some sort of clip here to play. So these are just dummy clips. They're just there to tell Ableton Live to play something. They're not going to play any audio, it's just going to play a click. So I'm going to rename this to Revelation Song. And then it's going to be at 68 BPM at 2/8 time signature. So when I press play on it, it's going to give me a click. And then let's just say we're doing 4 songs in our set. So I'm going to just delete all those other ones I don't need. And let's bring in one more song. Let's say we're going to do Open Up the Heavens, all right, at the very end of our service or something. So I'm going to bring in the cue right there. All my cues are in the same track. That's important. And then all my tracks, I'm going to go ahead and bring in to the multi-track group. Just click, drag, and drop. Let's go ahead and rename this to Open Up the Heavens. And we're going to make it 99 BPM and 4/4. Let's press play.
Intro 2, 3, 4.
It's going to start that song. So that's how I would build my whole set. Now what I would do to map my MIDI controller, I would just go to MIDI. And on the left-hand side, I have a loop-to-miss here, right? I'm going to use the loop-to-miss to trigger my songs. I'm going to assign button 1 to song 1. I'm going to assign button 2 to Real Love. Button 3 is going to be Revelation Song, and button 4 is Open Up the Heavens. And then I'm going to make my global stop button the stop button on the loop-to-miss. And that's it. Super easy. So now I can start my first song by pressing button 1. Button 2, start my second song. If I want to stop that, I can press stop. Launch my third song, which is Revelation Song, just a click. stop. Button 4 starts my 4th song.
Intro 2, 3, 4.
Pretty easy. The only thing I would need to do now is do audio routing. And that's why I put all of my cues in the same audio track, because under I/O down here, which is in and out, I can set my output to be, so the clicking cues always go out 1, clicking cues. My tracks, I would probably set these to go out either to the master, but then set the master to be out 2, or I could actually change that individually by just choosing external out and choosing tracks, which is the right-hand side of my headphone jack. But that's why I try to keep all my tracks in the same track. So the cues are all in the same track because they're all using the same output. My loops are all in the same track because they're using the same output. My multi-tracks are in a group, and I could customize the outputs of that however I want. Now here's what I do. I actually have one library template that looks just like this, but what I do is instead of making a new one every single Sunday, I just bring in my new songs that I add to my catalog, and I sort these alphabetically. And this saves a ton of time because now I have a file here that maybe has 100 songs that I do, and they're all sorted alphabetically. And then all I do every single Sunday, I just plug in my loop-to-miss and remap the loop-to-miss to what songs I'm doing that morning. That saves me a lot of time because instead of making a new Ableton session every single week for every new worship set, I can have one Ableton session that has all of my songs in it, and the only time I'm actually spending in customizing it and editing it is when I add a new song to my library. So you can save yourself a lot of time by using this template or setting up your tracks in this way. If you're interested in the template, go to our shop. It's 10 bucks, works in all versions of Ableton Live. I hope this helps you as you plan your worship sets.